Chronicles of Corporal Crag. Honk!
But as we marched across the rolling plains and meadows, encounters with roaming monsters grew more frequent. 'Twas not long ere we met with the most dreaded of them all, the dragon. Clad head to toe in scales hard as stone, neither sword nor spear could make but the slightest scratch on the beast's side. It seemed certain to slay us to a man. I swung my blade in wild desperation. Somehow a blow connected and sent the great lizard reeling. They fled without a moment's hesitation, fearing that it might soon regain its composure. To this day, I know not why my attack had the effect it did, but I and every one of my men owe our lives to this miraculous quirk of fate.
That's right, you all owe me your lives. You're all now indebted to me. You have a life debt to me. There are no dragons in Dragon Quest, just like there's no crying in baseball. Oh, I saw that book. Hey, Don Tiggins, what's up? Thank you for 21 months of Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Yeah, I saw that book already. I wonder if I talk to him again. Alright. It doesn't auto-complete it just because I've seen the book. I heard ramblings of an old crazy man. I'm so bored. Crazy old man. Crazy old man. Wow. Oh, hey, what's going on, girl? How you doing? Where was it? Chris! That's the machine gun fire. Thank you for the machine gun fire of 20 months Twitch Prime, dude. Thank you, man. I want to say it was in here. Oh, this is where we got the granny panties. But it was somewhere close. Pretty sure it was the same house that gave us roof access. Ah, this one. I like how that guy just basically admitted he broke into everybody's house looking for a book. I thought it was on the second floor. Maybe it is this first floor book. Oh wow, I should read this. Hold on. What's up, Blair? What's going on? I'm liking it too. I'm really enjoying it. Soldier and the Strategist, a tale of two heroes. No matter how ferocious an assault the monsters may launch against Heliodor, the great kingdom shall not fall, for two heroic figures will stand in the path of any attacker. The first is Sir Hendrik, warrior without equal. Countless times has he ridden his colossal black steed, Obsidian, fearlessly into the heart of an oncoming assault, scattering the enemy like so many leaves. He is chivalrous to a fault and considered by many to be the greatest swordsman in the world. Even the vilest, the most towering troll dare not stand its ground when faced with his whirling greatsword. The second half of his gallant duo is the shrewd and ingenious Sir Jasper, regarded as the sharpest military mind in the age. He has led heavily outnumbered forces to glorious victory again and again. Though as a swordsman, he may be no match for Sir Hendrik. His ability to analyze any battlefield and quickly arrive for an ideal strategy for the situation at hand is unrivaled. With these two great men, the swordsman and the strategist, to protect Heliodor, no fear. Heliodor have nothing to fear, or something like that. I didn't finish reading it. Okay. I was thinking it would give some insight as to sword versus greatsword. And it kinda did a little bit. Out of my way, little twerp. Important hero of destiny coming through. Brazilian shilling. Okay. Thank you, question mark? Let's see what a Brazilian shilling does. Currency of a fallen kingdom, no longer legal tender, can be sold for a few gold coins. Thank you very much. How nice. It got very bright up here. Ho ho ho! Are you Santa Claus? This is simply divine. Oh, delicious. You read this online manga for the smut at first? Huh? Are you saying you're reading smut and then you actually ended up having actual feels in it? Oh man, Chrono Crash, thank you for the God tier resub for 35 freaking months, dude. Almost 3 years of that God tier sub, man. Thank you so much. 35 months of Puff Puff. Unexpected feels when reading smut. Alright, fair enough. Brah, smash! Ah, destroy! Take gold coin! My gold coin! Brah! 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 Rah! So this is where like the little path to get over here, sneak over here was. Somewhere. Right here, there it is. So I'll be able to sneak over another time in the game, probably when they like kick me out of the castle for being a... What's probably gonna happen is I'm gonna say, hey, I'm the hero of destiny guy, and they're like, how dare you, sacrilege, ah! And then I'll have to sneak in to get an item. One is currently indisposed, Shark B. Long. Okay. What's up, Ray? Thank you for half a year, dude. Thank you for that half year sub, man. I mean, even smut can have good writing, you know? It's just a matter of whether or not they care to give it good writing, or there's good writers behind it. So I mean, I guess it's not unrealistic. It's just that people don't typically go there for, you know, that kind of thing. That's why all those anime games with tons of fan service have terrible writing, because it's all just smut. Boom, got him. Man, now it all makes sense. Ooh, we got a new book. Here we go. Come on, puns. The lurid allure of the dingy dungeons. Honk.
Far below the basements and storerooms of Heliodor Castle, deep within its fairy bowels, lie the dungeons that house the most heinous and hardened criminals in the kingdom. Many who have been locked away in these cold, dank cells and not lived to see the outside world again. Those whose crimes are deemed truly unforgivable are thrown into the deeper cells of all, from which it is said to be all but impossible to escape. A death sentence in all but name. Take care to stay on the right side of the law, dear reader, as you turn to be locked up and the key thrown away forever.
Okay, now I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to get locked up. I'm not going to get kicked out. I'm going to have to escape through the rope instead of getting in. It's going to be the other way around. True. Yagamoth did say that when I played Goose Game. He said he loved me forever. I don't know how to break the news to Keishura, but I mean, I'm sure she'll understand. You know, it's time to move on. Wee-ha! Nice fountain you rich people have. Wee-ha! Aha! I found out what the difference is. On the mini-map, there's a red rectangle for doors you can enter. How? Yo, what's up, High Life? Thank you for freaking 30. God, it looked like 3 with an exclamation mark, but it's 31 months resub, man. Locked up in the two-leg prison. Damn those two-leggers. I don't even know what that is, Satoru, but yeah. Lots of, there are some fan servicey games that have really good rating. For instance, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has a great writing, and that game is pretty heavy in fan service, but to be honest, that game's fan service was kind of thrown in because it was a lower budget game and they needed a way to appeal to a crowd. But they really didn't need it. It's one of those unfortunate, oh man, we didn't need that, but we got it. Mini-map door designer, yeah. I could see why you would not point that out, because it's possible that I can find like hidden doors and stuff that way. Potentially, so. Did she say I love doggos? I love doggies! Woof, woof, woof! So you can't go in this one. Cool. Good job. You know what, it honestly doesn't even have good jiggle physics. They're pretty not great. They're not even that bad, to be honest. They're pretty light considering the size of the bust on some of those girls. Oh my god, Star Ocean 5 jiggle physics. What an experience. Hey guys, I'm the Luminary reincarnated. I'd like to go into the castle, thanks.
Halt! Not so fast.
Interesting ideas are
State your business.
common, but that doesn't make the writing good. Kaga explains that he's the Luminary. Yeah, I'm the Luminary. What's up? How's it going?
Here, shake my hand, mate. That's the funniest one I've heard all week.
Clear off, will ya? We haven't got time for this kind of nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
What's that? You want to show that pendant to the king, you say?
mind waiting here a minute?
Ever so sorry for that little misunderstanding. Please, go right on through. His Majesty's waiting for you.
To lock us up. Ash, what's up, Ash? Darn Christ! Yeah, that's what I was talking about too. The grass jiggling in the wind. Of course. Wow, look at all this wasted space. This is like the example of showing off, just wasting space. Quite the ballroom. What about Kingdom Hearts? Alright, we got another thing to look at here. Heliodor Castle left pathway. Yes, exactly. That's what I was getting at. It's a show of wealth and power. Plus, it kind of acts as a ballroom. But yeah, it's like, look at how grand we can make our entrance because of our wealth. It's showmanship. Absolutely agree. Oh, that log just got wrecked. Oh man, yeah. Eat it, log. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, you see what I did there? Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? That's right, nothing. That's right. Yeah, I haven't really found anything truly interesting in my Kingdom Hearts experiences, but they're relatively limited, so I can't really speak too much on Kingdom Hearts stuff. Just that the franchise rather never really impressed me, but I haven't played 2 or 3, so in fact I've only played 1, but I wouldn't really count the side games as a missed opportunity since almost everybody speaks pretty ill of the side games. Just like the Final Fantasy side games. Damn it! Wayfarer clothes, feels bad. King Carnelian, behind the throne. Honk! Having seen several generations of his line, I can say with some certainty that King Carnelian is a rare breed of monarch, possessed of all the qualities required to be a truly great leader. Both loved and feared by the populace, he is like a father to them, yet kind yet stern, firm yet fair. Not since the days of the great kings of old has our nation been so blessed. Though his face may have grown hard and lined since the terrible events that took place those few short years ago, some might say that this has added a certain depth that improves him even yet further. To have so resiliently overcome such grief and yet still led his nation boldly onward is surely a sign that Carnelian is a king amongst kings. Yeah, even worse because they're required for the main story, which is just absurd. But I've heard, like, gameplay-wise and story-wise, they're pretty bad. So I don't really feel I've particularly missed out on those games. 2 and 3 are the only Kingdom Hearts games that I really care to play. I just feel like they're a little overhyped. But again, I haven't played after 1, but 1 was rather unremarkable. It was okay. Kingdom Hearts 1 was okay. It was just a little Inamu. There's a book called Erdrian Geography. Honk! Of the many nations, both large and small, that make up Erdrea, there are 5, the so-called Great 5, that stand above all others in the eyes of the world. Ancient and honorable Dundrezel, steadfast and stony Heliodor, Galopolis, with its noble desert knights, Sniffelheim with its snow-capped towers, and last but not least, Schwarzenfeldschingen Gazidrost, carpeted with flowers. These 5 nations guide the world, meeting every few years in the great conference known as the Colloquy of Kings. in order to steer the course of Adrian affairs in the direction agreeable to all. Nothing! How dare you have nothing? Do you know who I am? Whoa! Hands off, Arjun. These are gifts for the king. You shall match his touch him and you'll be sorry. Damn it. There's gotta be a way to distract him. Maybe if I just stab him in the back, then he'll be too dead to notice that I'm taking his treasure. Atlas or Nintendo? Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what Atlas side games, though, there are. Exactly, see? Ash knows. Just murder him, and then he'll be too busy being dead to notice that I'm taking his treasure. Well, Persona 5 is the only actually good Persona game, to be honest. Persona 4, like, might be okay, but the rest of them are garbage. So I don't really count that. If you've played a Dragon Quest game, it's like that, but better so far. So far. Just like every other Dragon Quest game, to be honest. How about Final Fantasy? What about Final Fantasy? Is Final Fantasy a side Atlas game? Persona 3 as a puppy, though, I mean, that only gives it marginal amounts of points. If you mean how are Final Fantasy side games, they're garbage. Almost entirely. The only Final Fantasy side game that's good is Tactics that I can think of off the top of my head. Crystal Chronicles pretty okay too. Look, this is already worse. So is this. Oh. What did that give me? Cool. Mystic Quest technically isn't a Final Fantasy. It is only called Final Fantasy to sell in the West. It is like Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 or Final Fantasy Adventure. It has no intent or like relevance to a Final Fantasy. It's called Final Fantasy USA in Japan, but the most recent release of it, which is the EU version, is called Mystic Quest Adventure or something like that. It doesn't even have Final Fantasy on it. But I mean, Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 are still called Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 in the US. That doesn't make them any less of a Final Fantasy game. Ooh, the princess's room. I'm gonna go there later. Yep, that's how you got it, yeah. FF Explorers, I mean, that's barely a Final Fantasy game either, but yeah, technically that one counts. Is this the King's Chamber, or? You make your way to the throne room. WAF. Definitely WAF is a great side Final Fantasy game. Absolutely agree with that one. That one's fantastic. Seed of Therapeutics. Why can't I break these other more valuable jars? This game is stupid. I want to break the valuable jars. Let's check over here for exploding jars. Yeah. Just because of their intent with the game doesn't make it a Final Fantasy. It's not a Final Fantasy game. It's like, just because they called Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 Final Fantasy Legend doesn't make them a Final Fantasy game. It's fine. Like, Mystic Quest is great. I love it. But it's not a Final Fantasy game. It just isn't. It was only named Final Fantasy. In fact, in your own comment, you prove my point, because they said they only named it Final Fantasy to appeal to the West, because they thought that we couldn't handle a complicated game like Final Fantasy V. What red light? Oh, that one. Final Fantasy Tactics and WoF are technically their own thing. It's true. It's true. They're not technically side games, because they're not part of another Final Fantasy or anything like that, you know? Like, but in this case, I think we're counting Final Fantasy games that are not part of the main franchise. Like, they're not the main numbered Final Fantasies. So, like, Tactics falls in line with 10-2 kind of thing, effectively. Oh, I see a shiny? Nope, just reflection. I know it was called a FF in the original version. I know that. I understand that. So was Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 and Final Fantasy Adventure. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Is Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 and Final Fantasy Adventure a Final Fantasy game? Yes or no? The answer is no, because it's Saga 1, 2, and 3 and Seiken Densetsu. Just because they called it Final Fantasy originally, like, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest wasn't even an intended Japanese release. They just released it in Japan because it was made in Japan, so it's like, whatever. Like, it's already made, why not release it?
That will be quite close enough. Welcome to Heliodor Castle, friend.
The Jewel of Dundrasil. You are bold indeed to have made your way here alone, Wanderer. I am Carnelian, ruler of Heliodor. How long have I waited for this day?
It seems like what you're doing. It's literally what they did.
Finally, we meet. Truly, it is an honor. The fact that you come here proffering the jewel and asking to speak with me personally would suggest that you know something of your true nature. I take it that you also bear the mark?
Heck yeah, it's right on my butt. You want to see it? I mean, it's on my hand. That's what I meant to say.
Yes, the mark of light. Then there is no doubt. You are he.
Seize him!
Rejoice, dear subjects. The day is upon us at last. The luminary walks among us once more.